Hey folks, Leave here once again. Hope you enjoyed my review of Spider-Man Far From Home. It is on my channel right now. Thank you guys for the 250 subs. Keep on subscribing. Remember, Levi McNally 93. You can call me Levi. And yeah, this is my new channel with a mass profile picture on it. I do have my other YouTube channel still, um, but I don't do videos on that anymore. I do it on this new channel. So if you want to continue to see me do videos and reviews and videos, you know, then keep on watching this channel then. And I do appreciate it. And also share my channel and thanks for watching and commenting. I appreciate it. You know, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Uh, anyway, like I said, I reached Spider-Man Home Far From Home because I'm starting my job at FedEx. I started this week actually part time. I'm off this weekend, so maybe I can do some videos. So I'll try my best. But anyway, guys, what I've been doing on the what I've been doing is a superhero marathon. If I can barely talk, superhero marathon. I've been reviewing what I call the 2010 decades, the 2010s era superhero reviews. I call it the 2010s era superhero reviews. It's superhero movies that came in 2010, 2019, and I'm on the last year of 2019. I might review some other two movies, short films, DC Showcase movies, and I'm thinking of reviewing one that's a web series. Yeah, and then I'll, do finally quick update video about what 2020 videos are coming up next. You'll see. But anyway, mm, the first one. This is a 2019 film. It's a superhero film. It's a 2019 psychological thriller film starring Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro, and it also is directed by Todd Phillips, who directed this movie. And I love this film. This is really good. This was really a surprise in 2019. Yeah, this film came out in October, which is perfect. But this movie, I want you to not forget, it's DC, based on DC comic book character, and that is the Clown Prince of Crime himself. That is, like I said, starring Joaquin Phoenix. That is Joker. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I know, yeah, this film did have a sequel, Joker Felix. I can't say the damn title right. I hate the title of that movie. I have it and I watched it just to prepare for this review, and I hated it. This film did not need a sequel, in my opinion. This is a Blu-ray cover. You guys from you got making a behind the scenes of like your creation. Joaquin Phoenix, return of takes, costume test, and more. You got him like screen testing for Joker. Yeah, let me check this cover with the film I have on Blu-ray and DVD, and you do have special features on it, which is probably more on the Blu-ray. With the DVD, you get Todd Phillips talking about the movie, and the green one is the DVD, the black one is the Blu-ray. And like I said, this film is rated R. It is not for kids. It's just mainly for adults. Yes, I know this one got a lot of controversy, whatever you say it. I hate that word anyway because it makes no sense at the time. But this one didn't deserve it. It's just a movie. It's fantasy. It's not real. Joker is not a real person. It's just a movie. Yeah, yeah. All movies are different in their own way. Are written and made differently. You know. Let's get into production of this movie, shall we? Uh, Todd Phillips here, who directed the film. Between 2014 and 2015, Joaquin Phoenix expressed interest to his agent in acting in a low-budget character study type of film about a comic book villain, like DC Comics character the Joker. Before Phillips pitched Joker in 2016, Phoenix had previously declined to act in the MCU because he would have been crowded by roles such as Bruce Banner Hulk, portrayed by Edward Norton before he was recast by Mark Ruffalo, or Stephen Strange, ultimately portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch in multiple films. But Phoenix ruled out the Joker for his character study and tried to think of a different one. I thought you can do just the Joker. You can't do the Joker because it's just you can't do the character. It's just been done. Phoenix's agent suggested setting up a meeting with Warner Brothers, but he declined and let go of the idea. Similarly, similarly, Todd Phillips had been offered to direct comic book based films a number of times, but declined because he thought that they were loud and did not interest him. According to Phillips, Joker spawned from his idea to create a different, more grounded comic book film. He was attracted to the Joker because he did not think there was a definite portrayal of the character, definitive portrayal of the character, which would provide creative freedom. Phillips pitched the idea for Joker to Warner Brothers after his film War Dogs premiered in August 2016. Prior to War Dogs, Phillips was mostly known for directing Road Trip, Old School, and The Hangover, the first Hangover movie. I don't know about the sequel, but I've seen Old School. That's a funny movie. War Dogs marked a ventures into more unsettling territory. During the premiere, Phillips realized War Dogs wasn't going to set the world on fire and was thinking, what do people really want to see? In addition, he found that it was able to make comedy films like in the woke culture through options of 30 million people on Twitter. He finally thought that there's something innovative about comedy. Oh, I know. Let's take the comic book movie universe and turn it on its head with this. He proposed that DC Films differentiate its slate from the Marvel Studios, competing Marvel Studios by producing low-budget standalone films. After the successful release of Wonder Woman in 2017, starring Gal Gadot and directed by Patty Jenkins, DC Films decided to demonize the shared nature of its DC-based film franchise, DCU, in August 2017. Warner Brothers DC Films real plans for the film, with Phillips directing and co-writing with Scott Silver and Martin Scorsese, set to produce with Phillips. According to Tanti, the Hollywood Reporter, Scorsese considered directing Joker before Phillips was chosen. Though one of other sources said he only became involved because the film needed a New York City-based producer. According to Kim Masters and Hollywood Master, Jared Leto was portrayed by the Joker in DCU by Jared Leto, which displayed with the existence of a project separate from his own interpretation. On October 2019, Masters reported that Leto felt annihilated and upset when he learned that Warner Brothers promised him a standalone Joker film. Let Phillips receive a Joker, thank goodness. Well, you know what? Well, yeah, there's been plenty of actors to play the Joker. Cesar Romero in the Batman 60 show, Mark Hamill, Jack Nicholson in Batman 1989, Mark Hamill, who voiced the Joker in the anime series and Batman Mask of the Phantasm and Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, in the Batman Arkham games and Batman the Killing Joke. Uh, let's see. Yeah, Heath Ledger is great as the Joker. Yeah. And then Jared Leto, which I thought Jared Leto sucks. I'm like, good, we don't want a movie with you because your Joker sucked. Going as far as his music manager to get the project canceled. Leto, you're crazy. That didn't happen, of course. Yeah, you should have been canceled as Joker because you were awful. Leto's irritation was what caused him to end his association with the CAA, Creative Artists Agency, as he believed his agent should have told him about the Phillips project earlier and fought harder for this version of Joker. However, sources associated with Leto deny that he attempted to get Joker canceled because of it. Warner Brothers pushed for Phillips to cast Leonardo DiCaprio, hoping to use his collaborator Scorsese's involvement to distract him. However, Phillips said that Phoenix was the only actor he considered, that he and Silver wrote the script of Phoenix in mind. The goal was never to introduce Joaquin Phoenix into the comic book movie verse. The goal was to introduce comic book movies into the Joaquin Phoenix verse. Phoenix said when he learned of the film, he became excited because it was the kind he was looking to make, describing it as a unique and stating it did not feel like a typical studio movie. It took him some time to commit to the role, as it intimidated him, and he said oftentimes in these movies, reductive archetypes that allow for the audience to be distant from the character, just like we would do in real life. As he looked with somebody as evil, and therefore say, well, I'm not that. Todd Phillips said, it was a year-long process from when we were finished the script just to get the new people on board with this vision because I pitched it to entirely different from team you made it. There were emails about you realized we sell Joker pajamas at Target. There was a zillion hoodaloos, and you just sort of navigated through those at time. At the time, I would curse them in my head every day. But when I had to put them in perspective and go, they're pretty bold that day they did this. Phillips and Silver wrote Joker throughout 2017, and the writing process took about a year. According producer Emma Tellner, Kosoff, it took some time to get approval for the script with Warner Brothers. Project is concerned with the content. Similarly, Phillips commented that there were a zillion hurdles during the year-long writing process due to the visibility of the character. Phillips said that while the script's themes may reflect a modern society, the film was not intended to be political. It's not that Joker is a story about child trauma and mental illness. In the script, Phillips talked about how difficult it is for patients to reveal their diagnosis, referring to a line from the film. The worst part of having a mental illness is that people expect you to behave as if you don't. Draws inspiration from Scorsese's films like Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, The King of Comedy. Those films that all those movies did star Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro's in this movie. So, yeah. Was he in The King of Comedy? Yeah, okay, he was. And he was in Raging Bull, too. Yeah, I've heard of those. As well as Phillips' Hangover trilogy. Other films Phillips studied his impression through character studies released in, like, such as Serpico, starring Al Pacino. Happy 85th birthday to Al Pacino, by the way. Uh, uh, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson, the silent film The Man Who Laughs, and several musicals. Phillips said that aside from the tone, which I think The Man Who Laughs had also inspired to create the character of Joker as well. Phillips said that aside from the tone, he did not consider Joker that different from his previous work, such as Hangover films. The film's premise was inspired by Alan Moore and the graphic novel Batman the Killing Joke, which depicts the Joker as a fellow stand-up comedian. Where the climactic talk show was seen was inspired by a similar scene in Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. I knew it was. However, Phillips said that the film does not follow anything from the comic books. That's what was interesting to me. We're not even doing Joker, but the story of becoming Joker. Phillips said to clarify that he meant that they did not look to specific comic for inspiration. Rather pick and choose what they like from the character's history. Having grown up in New York, Phillips also drew inspiration from the life in New York City during the early 1980s. The subway shooting scene was an aftermath was inspired by the 1984 New York City subway shooting. Arthur Fleck is based on the shooting's perpetrator. Phillips and Silver found the most common Joker origin story in which the character is figured after falling to event too unrealistic. Instead, they used certain elements of the Joker lore to produce an origin story, which Phillips wanted to feel as authentic as possible, because the Joker does not have a different origin story in the comics. Phillips and Silver were there, right? He doesn't. We're given considerable creative freedom and push each and every other day to come up with something totally insane. Well, the Joker had appeared in several films before. Phillips thought it was possible to produce a new story featuring the character. They just wanted to do something different with the character, and that's fine. That's what I like about certain movies when you bring something different to the table. However, they did not try to retain the multiple choice nature of the Joker's past by positioning the character as a unreliable narrator. The entire storyline simply being his delusions and left mentally unstable. Following the disappointing critical and financial performance of Justice League, January 2018, John Byrne was the head of DC-based film production at Warner Brothers. The various DC films development, canceling some with finishing work on others. The film was set to begin filming in late 2018 with a small budget of $55 million. Warner Brothers was reluctant to let Joker move forward and gave it a small budget. Phillips said that Hemnode, I can't say it right, did not understand what he was trying to do. Robert De Niro was under consideration for a supporting role in the film. The deal with Phoenix was finalized in July 2018. After 4 months of persuasion from Phillips, immediately afterwards, Warner Brothers greenlit the film, titled Joker and given October 4, 2019 release date. Warner Brothers described the film as an exploration of man discouraged by society that has agreed to character study, but also a border cautionary tale. Scorsese's longtime associate Korsakoff going to produce other Scorsese left his producing duties due to other obligations. Scorsese considered serving as an executive producer, who was with this film, The Irishman, which also starred De Niro. Determined that the film would also have no effect on Leto's Joker, it would be the first in a new series of DC films, all related to the DCU. Disney Bits, who was cast as a supporting role, Robert De Niro, Frances McDormand declined an offer to portray the mother Joker, and Francis Conroy was cast. Alec Baldwin was cast as Thomas Wayne, but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. Filming, some places they filmed for the movie. Filming began on September 2018 in New York City, under the title Romeo. Shortly after filming began, De Niro, Britt Cullen, some of the actors were announced to have joined the film, with Cullen replacing Baldwin. Bradley Cooper joined the film as a producer. Yeah. According to Bits, Phillips rewrote the entire script during production. Phoenix lost so much weight for the film, as you can tell when he takes his shirt off in this movie. You can tell he lost a lot of weight. There needed to be opportunity for reshoots. She recalled, we would go to Todd's trailer and write the scene for the night and then do it during hair and makeup, memorize, and then do some, and then we'd reshoot 3 weeks later. Phillips recalled Phoenix has sometimes walked off set during filming because he lost self control and needed to compose himself. To the confusion of the actors, who felt they had done something wrong. De Niro was one of the few Phoenix never walked out on, and De Niro said he was very intense in what he was doing, as he should be. Filming in New Jersey started on September 30th and shut down while filming in November starting November 9th. Shut down Kennedy Boulevard. The most successful filming was the stair dance, on which was known as the Joker stairs. That scene is classic, though. I do love the scene of him dancing. That'll be the thumbnail for this video of Joker dancing in this video, by the way. Phillips confirmed that he was in the process of editing Joker in March 2019. The visual effects were provided by Scanline FX and Shade FX. One scene that cut from the film Sophia watched Arthur's appearance on Franklin show. The scene was intended to show the audience that she still is alive, as her film otherwise implies that Arthur kills her. Arthur reveals to Lisa that his crimes as a co-worker. The scene was only removed because it provided too much information. Gotham City and Joker was set in the 1980s in New York City. Yeah. The effects team built the fictional buildings, changing the skyline of the city. Gives sense that the city was pressing down on Arthur. Arkham State Hospital is based on Arkham Asylum. Nikki Lemon and K. G. Georgia. I don't know the name. Sorry. The makeup design and hairstyle was tied to make Arthur look to be handmade and realistic. So I guess they did his makeup. They came up with the costume. I guess you can say the makeup and his costume that he wears in the movie. For the music score, the film does have a good score, I think. Has about 17 tracks. You do some music in the film, like Live with Murray Franklin theme. If You're Happy and You Know It song. That's Life. But it's a version, not the Frank Sinatra version. Smile. Sending the Clowns by Frank Sinatra. I think it was Jimmy Durant who sung that song. Smile, yeah. Phyllis Merger were posting on set photos on Instagram account. I think I remember seeing that, but I think I remember seeing a video of Joaquin Phoenix smoking a cigarette in his Joker suit, just having a little dance or something like that. He released pictures of Phoenix in costume as the Joker. We're laughing, and he doesn't laugh so good though. By the way, I think I don't compare the roles of the Jokers here; they're just different styles. The trailer also featured the song "Smile" performed by Jimmy Durant, which I love that song for this movie. Mark Hamill, who voiced the Joker since the cartoon, expressed enthusiasm on Twitter. Yeah, sorry, hold on. I was gonna read something else. Joaquin Phoenix at the premiere Joker, signing for fans. One critic said that David compared it to 2008 Batman film, Dark Knight. Praised the cinematography, called it a film that, well, I say it's better than Dark Knight, but that's just my opinion. But I do like both of them. I think Joaquin Phoenix, I think he's a good Joker. I think he's underrated, in my opinion. I don't blame him for the sequel. That was the bad direction, and the sequel was not on him. That it needed to be seen to be believed. Yeah. Even Mark Hamill, who voiced the, like I said, Mark Hamill, who voiced the Joker in Batman animated series, and some other Batman animated movies in the Batman Arkham game series, well, except Arkham Origins, praised it. And Richard Donner called the film brilliant, fascinating, really well written, really well written. Mr. Donner commented on Phoenix's performance, saying that he deserved recognition for his performance. Jessica Chastain agreed. She says one of the greatest pieces of acting she's ever seen, and I agree with her on that. Yeah, themes. Joker deals with themes of mental illness and its both psychological and sociological effects. You know, the film does have nothing to do with mass shootings in the U.S. It's a series that Joker is being described as a representative of those who commit crimes. I'm like, no, I don't blame the movie. It's just a movie, people. It's a work of art, and art can be done in live action and entertainment as well. The film does have a cultural impact. People were saying that these crimes happened because it wasn't Joker's fault. No, people who have seen this movie are in a crazy head to commit crimes in real life. They're crazy. Joaquin Phoenix is just an actor. It's just a movie. Yeah, but some people are just crazy in the head and they'll say, "Oh, let's blame the movie." No, it ain't the movie's fault. Of course, the movie had a sequel, but the sequel did. I hated the sequel. The title was stupid. It was a musical. So stupid. You didn't need a sequel for this movie. In my opinion, it didn't. But of course, this film I think did very well at the box office too, so that's why. Anyway, because the film did gross $1 billion at the box office, becoming the first rated R film to do so. It held that record until Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh yeah, you see why Deadpool and Wolverine worked and why this movie works? Why this film works? I'm talking to you, Sony. They made the Venom movies, Morbius, Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter. This is how you make a comic book villain. This was so much better than Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter, yeah, that was rated R, but that film sucked. Yeah, this was a lot better. This is how you do it. Yeah, they shouldn't have made a sequel. That's all I have to say. They shouldn't have made a sequel to this, but they did because it made $1 billion at the box office. So of course, Warner Brothers is going to highlight the sequel because they want to make that money. So yeah, but you didn't need a sequel to this, and they need to learn now. Okay, rated R movies can be successful. Yeah, because they can make money. Because when I go see a Joker movie, I want him to be rated R. Yeah, Joker is a villain. Period. Joker is a supervillain appearing in comic. Yeah, Joker's first appearance I think was in 1940. Yeah, yeah. Oh, like I said, based on The Man Who Laughs, that's who Joker's created on. He's gonna bring me revisions. Like in Tim Burton's Batman, he's Jack Napier, a gangster, and who falls into the acid, the vat of chemicals, and becomes the Joker. After Batman like reflects a bullet and it puts a permanent smile on his face. Uh, and then Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Spoiler alert. He's the gangster that murders Andrea's father. Yeah. So yeah. Well, Batman the Killing Joke was like he was the Red Hood, and who wrote the Killing Joke was Arthur Allen Moore, and I love that book. I got that book, and I like the movie as well. But the movie could have been done a little better, in my opinion. But a mentally ill improvised party clown and stand-up comedian who disregarded by society. He invents a clown and inspired persona that is Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, good actor. I like Walk the Line. He's great in Walk the Line. If you couldn't stand the singing and the musical and Joker Felix, just watch Walk the Line. That's a better movie. Yeah, and it was. Yeah, he was in Gladiator. Okay, Signs with Mel Gibson. That was a good movie. Ladder 49 with John Travolta. Like I said, Walk the Line with Reese Witherspoon, who I think is a better actress than Lady Gaga, but that's just my opinion. And Robert De Niro as Murray Franklin, a talk show host who plays a role in Arthur's downfall. De Niro said his role in Joker pays homage to his character, King Comedy Robert Bumpkin. He's been in many movies though. De Niro has, yeah, like The Wedding Party, Greetings. I think The Godfather Part Two that was like his huge hit in Taxi Driver, New York, New York, The Deer Hunter, Raging Bull, The King of Comedy, Once Upon a Time in America, The Mission, Midnight Run, with Charles Grodin. I like that movie. Good film. Goodfellas. I still haven't watched that yet. I got that movie, but I haven't watched it yet. Awakenings. Cape Fear, Mistress, that's a boy's life. The Fan, I like The Fan a lot. That's a good film. And Copland with Stallone, you blew it. I like that movie. Good Stallone film too. Yeah, but I know he's also done Meet the Parents, Meet the Fuckers with Ben Stiller. Yeah, his exhibits as Sophia, influencing a mother and Arthur's love interest. Superhero movie. She was she was Domino in Deadpool 2, and she did respire the role of Sophie in Joker Felix as well. She was in Bullet Train, The Bad Guys 2, and the first The Bad Guys movies, animated films. Frances Conroy as Penny Flick, Arthur's mentally and physically ill mother. Oh, she was in the TV series The Mist, not the movie. And Hannah Gross plays the young Penny. Britt Collins, Thomas Wayne, a billionaire running for mayor of Gotham, who is, of course, Bruce Wayne's father, who would become Batman in the future. Britt Collins, let's see. He's in Wyatt Earp, National Security, Leviathan. Leviathan. Oh, he's also in The Dark Knight Rises Batman film. He was alright in that. He was in the Red Dawn remake. Yeah. The Shallows. I remember him in that with the Blake Lively. I like that film. In this movie, well, let's see. He was also in. Let's see, in Ghost Rider. Yeah, he was. He played Barton Blaze, Johnny Blaze's father. Carrie Louise, and he was in Dark Knight Rises, like I said. So he's done two of the comic book films before. Carrie Louise portrayal as Martha, Thomas's wife. Douglas Hodge as Alfred Pennyworth, the butler and caretaker. We only see Alfred in one scene, but again, it's a Joker movie, so not a Batman film. Dante Pichi Olsen as Bruce Wayne, Thomas's and Martha's son. Glenn Flesher as Leo Gill, Randall and Gary. Oh, Leo Gill, good actor. He was also part of the role in Joker Felix as well. Bill Camp and Shea Wigman as detectives. Bill Camp was in Love Mercy, Lawless, 12 Years a Slave, Lincoln. This movie, Sound of Freedom. Shea Wingham, let's see, I think I've seen him in some things maybe. Bad Company, Man of the House, Fast and Furious 2004. I mean 2009. The Fast Four. I mean, the scene where Paul Walker like grabs his head and hits him to the wall, and his nose bled up. Yeah, that's him. Fast Six. He was in that as well. Star Trek Beyond. Fast Nine. Mark Har- Mark Marmon as Glenn Fillol, a producer on the Franklin Show. He was in the deleted scene in D2 The Mighty Ducks, but in the deleted scene. Joe Paris, Joe Posh as Huddy Fawn, Brian T. Henry as Clark, Frank Wood as Dr. Benjamin Stoner, Gary Coleman, Gary Goldman, and Sam Neill as the comedians. Justin Threx as Ethan Chase. Alright, and for the people that worked on the movie, it is directed by Todd Phillips. Oh, he directed Starsky and Hutch? 2004. I love that movie. So let's say he's directed Road Trip, Old School. I've seen Old School and Starsky and Hutch. I love those movies. I haven't really seen the Hangover movies too much. I've seen a little bit of them. But he not reviewed. He directed all those. I heard the sequels weren't too good. A Star Wars Born, working with Bradley Cooper. Let's see. Written by Todd Phillips and Scott Silver, who also wrote the film movies like John's, The Finest Hours, The Fighter. Was that with, or that was with Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg, and the sequel to Joker as well. It's based on characters created by the Joker, based on the Joker created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, and Jerry Robertson, characters created by DC. Produced by Todd Phillips and Bradley Cooper. Okay, Bradley Cooper produced this movie. Wow. Well, his name's in the titles, the opening and end credits anyway. For Bradley Cooper, I remember him in the A-Team remake. He was also in the Hangover movies. And also, you should know him as the voice of Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy. All three movies, and of course, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Voicing the character. Rocket Raccoon. Yes Man, I remember him in that with Jim Carrey. I think that's the first movie I ever saw him in. And the A-Team. Uh, Emma Tillinger. Koskov, I can't say her name right. Uh, she's produced Uncut Gems. That was an Adam Sandler movie. Crime thriller film. Oh, love that film. Yeah. That also came out the same year as this, but that movie, this was October, and that movie came out. I think I've seen it. I saw it. So that was December. Cinematography by Lawrence Shear. He's also done cinematography of films like A Better Way to Die, The Dukes of Hazzard 2005 film, The Hangover movies, Paul, Godzilla King of Monsters, Black Adam, Joker Locks, The Bride, edited by Jeff Groth, who worked on films like Project X, Joker, Cherry, Joker, Better, Felix, sequel, music by Hitler. I can't say the music. I want to say like I'm saying Hitler, but I'm not going to say Hitler, sorry. But he's done music for like Mary Malengo, Sicario, David the Soldier, Journey's End. Production companies are Warner Brothers Pictures, DC Films, Village Roadshow Pictures, Burn Creative, joint effort, distributed by Warner Brothers. It was released October 4th, 2019, here in the US. It's 122 minutes long, about 2 hours and 2 minutes, so it's not that long. 2 hours, but it says it's meant to be around 55, 70 million. I say $55 million. Box office made 100.7 billion, $79 billion worldwide. Look, can I barely speak? It did get mixed reviews from the critics, but I guess some critics who didn't get it or didn't care for the film. Now I can see if they hated the sequel, but anyway, we're not on that sequel, so sorry. Anyway, guys, there will be spoilers in this review, so if you've never seen Joker, directed by Todd Phillips and starring Joaquin Phoenix, turn the review off right now, please. Don't spoil it for yourself, just turn the video off right now. I don't want you to spoil it for yourself. So anyway, Joker 2009. 2019. Joker 2019, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Let's see. I'm just going to tell the plot synopsis of the movie and then talk about the movie itself. So pretty much for the story of the film, forever alone in a crowd, failed comedian Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix, seeks connection as he walks the streets of Gotham City. Arthur wears two masks: the one where he paints for his day job as a clown, and the Gus he projects in a futile attempt to feel like he's part of the world around him. Isolated, bullied, and disregarded by society, Blake begins a slow descent into madness as he transforms into the criminal mastermind known as the Joker. So that's what I'm going to play off with the plot synopsis, okay? Hmm. So, like I said, this film is rated R. It's not for kids. Don't let kids watch this. Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse my burp. I try to keep it in. I don't want to burp in front of you guys' faces on the video. It's disgusting. But anyway, well, okay, I'm gonna talk about the movie itself. So again, if you've seen it, second time, third time, guys, spoilers in this review. Okay, so if there's gonna be spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen Joker, turn the review off right now. I don't want you wasting, well, not wasting time. I don't want to say that, but I don't want you hearing spoilers if you've never seen the film. Okay, so turn the video off right now. just for your own sake. I don't want you to be like, Levi, why'd you spoil it for me? You know, and then you'd be angry at me and then blame me on that. But anyway, but the film, I love the opening of the film. It takes place in 1981. I love the opening credits. As soon as the film opens, I loved it because it definitely reminds me of the 80s movies. You just have Arthur, who is he's a party clown, aspiring he wants to be a stand-up comedian. But Arthur has issues. He's a little mental ill, deals with mental illness. He has to take medication, be on his meds. It can be complicated that, assume that he's suicidal as well. But yeah, he dresses up as a clown, just does the makeup. There's that smile, isn't it? Because he's not really happy. Yeah. Gotham, has a problem of rifle crime and employment. Arthur goes to this lady to talk to her, but she never listens to him. He's like, so Arthur, did you bring your book? He's like, yes, I brought my book. He's smoking. He has this what you call a laughing condition where he just laughs, bursts out laughter for no reason. Just yeah, I can't do it right. Joaquin Phoenix does a great job of it, but Arthur can't help that he has that condition. He's on the streets like your sign, just being a clown and smart. You know. Arthur's just dancing around, and these these kids they tag him and they show a sign. He's like, hey, he chases them. And he gets run over by some taxis and cars. Chases them, but they hit him and they start kicking him real hard. Randolph is this guy at work, Randolph, and then you have Gary, who's like the only probably nicest person, the only one that's really nice to Arthur in this movie. But he suggests Arthur, he's like, I got something for you, Arthur. He gives him in the bag, and it's a gun. Yeah, tell him, you need to protect yourself from these hoodlums. They're gonna hurt you. They can kill you. Protect yourself. And Arthur accepts again. Like after he talks to this lady, he just goes back on a bus. Sees this kid. He's like making faces. This lady's like, "Will you stop bugging my kid?" He's like, "Did you please stop?" He's like, "Sorry, please just don't." And he starts laughing. You find that funny? Like, he gives her the card, and she just ignores him, I guess, for the rest of the ride. Arthur goes home to his mom, who is ill and faded, and wants to know. Is like, there's no, not groceries. She wants to get milk. She believes, she tells him that she worked for the Wayne family. She worked for Thomas Wayne. You know, that Thomas can help them, as she believes in her mind. Yeah. Arthur does meet Sophia, played by Sissy Betts. He's like, man, crazy out there, right? It's crazy. And she like points a gun, just jokes around. Arthur then just looks at her, just an extra joke, gives her a creepy look. Yeah. He just walks away from that. But he's entertaining at Children's Hospital. Arthur's just, you know, if you're happy and clap your hands, and the gun shoots out of his pants. He's like this. And then his boss calls him. He even yells at him earlier. He said, Arthur, get back the freaking sign. He's like, well, I didn't steal the sign. The people took it from him, mobbed him, but he didn't care. He said, get it back. Even though I'm sure Arthur couldn't do that because it was destroyed anyway. But Arthur's like keeping that smile in, and he finally starts kicking and attacking a trash dump, starts kicking it real hard out of his temper. But anyway, his boss calls him, tells him you're fired. Yeah. And he lies to Arthur. He lies. Randall, asshole. Who's an asshole, by the way, lies and said Arthur, he didn't give Arthur the gun. And Arthur's like, well, thanks to Randolph. I was like, what's your problem? He's like, he's sworn at him. He's like, what are we gonna do with that? Gonna shoot yourself? Is that your comedy routine? He laughs about it. He's like, I forgot to punch out. Bam, 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 punches the punch out lady. It says, don't forget to smile. And he, like, phrases it and says, don't smile. Then after getting fired, Arthur goes on the subway in his clown makeup. Then you have these three Wayne Enterprises employees are messing with this woman. They say, honey, you want to fry? I'm talking to you. She's like, no, thank you. and they throw the fry at her. Arthur just starts laughing. They over to him was like, "Clown, Jeff, you know that? What's so funny, clown?" And they beat him up, start pounding him like those kids did. But Arthur's prepared this time he gets his gun out, shoots one guy in the head, and then shoots the other guy's like, runs, getting out of there. Arthur's able to see him. He runs out the subway door eventually. Arthur chases him, pound, pound, shoots him dead. Runs for his life, basically runs the hell out of there. Goes to the not the kitchen, goes to this bathroom, public bathroom. Have you seen the trailer? I mean, not the trailer, but the poster of him dancing. Yeah, that's what he does. I can't do the dance right, but he does it right. He does shoot two in self-defense, but he murders the third one. And the murders are condemned by Thomas Wayne, who calls him a coward. And they don't know who the clown was. They don't know who the first suspect was that did it, though. And then some of these, and authors imagine they wear Joker, wear these masks, clown masks. Arthur begins, Arthur, who loves watching Murray Franklin, who's a talk show host played by Robert De Niro. He's a talk show host. He does that laugh, but not Robert. Uh, Arthur has this imaginations in his head. Well, fantasies, if you will, or illusions of like things that are really happening. Yeah, but it's an illusion of him, being at Murray's show, and Murray's like, hey, guess who said who was laughing? Who loved that? He said, I love you, Murray. He's like, Sean was like, who are you? My name is Arthur, and I take care of my mother's like, I still took care of my mother too before I got to the top. Very important thing to do. He's like, coming down, Arthur's like, no, no. He's like, coming down, Arthur's like, Arthur, you're like a son to me, and he hugs him, and this is all just in his head as he's watching TV with his mom. You know, even has a dance scene with his mom. Like, come on, dance with me, mom. And there's even a scene where he's playing with a gun, which you shouldn't do in real life, by the way. Just dancing with a gun, and then it pow it goes off, and he turns the TV up real loud. And his mom's like, "What's that? What's that?" He's like, "Nothing, mom. I'm just watching on TV." I'll turn it down. And he sees the bullet hole in the wall that he accidentally shot off. Sorry, I go over my reviews. Yeah, Arthur does his routine, but he's laughing and his jokes don't work. Yeah, you know, Arthur also finds out about his mom. Well, he gets this letter that Penny wrote to Thomas alleging that Thomas what that he is Thomas Wayne's son. He does raise mother her from. She's like, I can't deal with this. You're stressing me out. I can't deal with this. Like, mom, just tell me, please. I'm not that mad. Yeah. Arthur, believing that he is the son of Thomas Wayne, goes to the Wayne house. He meets their young son, Bruce, and he tries to, use clown stuff, put on the red nose, and do a little magic trick. He's like, there you go, smile. And Alfred Pennyworth comes by. They said, oh, your mother's crazy. Don't say that. And he attacks Arthur. Arthur attacks Alfred, choking him. And Arthur runs, runs. Yeah. Arthur goes back home, but his mom, she has an attack or whatever. And because these detectives are talking to her, so she faints and they take her to the hospital. These two detectives question about being a clown. He's like, what's with the laugh? Is it a condition or part of the act? What? He's like, I'm a clown. Excuse me, he's like, excuse me, Penny, his mother suffers a stroke. Arthur is able to sneak into a public event. He's upset about his mom. You see him go on dates with Sophia, and everything seems like his comedy routine is going great. Before all this happened, his comedy routine, he's dating Sophia. They go on dates. He's smiling at one of the jokers. You got that smile song by Jimmy Durant going on. And Arthur goes, like I said, goes to the public event. He's able to sneak in because one of the cops gets into a fight with one of the guys dressed up as the clown with the clown mask, one of the rioters or whatever the hell you want to call them, people, rioting or protesters. Gets into fights, and Arthur's able to sneak in because of Bellboy. Sees his comedy and laughing. I like when he's doing that little dance. Sees Thomas Wayne over there. Thomas goes to the bathroom, and he's like, "Hi." He's like, maybe I'll give you an autograph later. He's like, "Oh, Thomas Wayne, like, I'm your son, Arthur. I'm Penny. Oh, he didn't tell you, did she?" He's like, "Son, your mother's crazy. She worked for us, yes, but she adopted you." He was like, "What? No, that's not true." Yeah, yeah. And his mother, his mother, she's not his mother. You know, Arthur's like, "Well, come on, Dad. You just can't treat people like they're nothing. You can't do this. Come on, Dad." Laughs in his face, and Thomas punches him in the face. And I thought it was funny Thomas when he said this. Pretty cool moment when he said this though. Touch my kid, I'll fucking kill you. He literally says that to him. So Arthur, who has a hard time in disbelief of this. Yeah, but Arthur visits the Arkham State Hospital. They don't want to give him the file for him to read. But Arthur like takes it from his hand, runs off with it, and figures out that Penny, it was true that she did adopt Arthur as a baby. She allowed her abusive boyfriend to harm him, like tied him to a radiator, like a heater, and would beat him and stuff. Penny says that Thomas used his influence to fabricate the adoption, compared to the asylum to hide their affair, which was not true. Yeah, you know, Arthur is upset by this and goes to Sophie's apartment unannounced. She's like, "Whoa, what are you? I'm all going there." And all those dates he had with her, about going out with her being in comedy clubs, at the side of his mother's hospital, was all fantasy. It was all delusions in his head. He was never dating her. When he's like sharing a kiss with her, all of it was delusions in his head. You know, Arthur goes crazy for this. He snaps, makes some snaps, feeling that the world has mistreated him or treated him badly. Goes insane. And even though Penny's still alive, he grabs the pillow and shrugs it with it. My life's not a comedy. It's a fucking, my life's not trashy. It's a fucking comedy. And then he chokes her and kills Penny. Arthur is then invited to appear on Murray's show. He gets a call, so he prepares for it by, like, putting it through the curtains in his house, like a blanket over his house. And Trevor Harris gonna say, "Oh, he's gonna talk to Murray," because at the hospital when he's watching TV, Murray was mocking him. It was using his chance to ruin his career, because you figure Murray's actually a real jerk. Yeah, yeah. Then as he prepares to go, you see him put on the green makeup. I mean not the green makeup, but the hair looked green, and he's dancing his underwear. He's just dancing, and they show, Randall and Gary show up, give him a beer, for his mother dying and losing his job, just to be there for him. And Randall's like, I just, the police came by the shop. I just want to know what you said, because we're pals, but, he's trying to actually get Arthur in trouble, big time trouble. But Arthur, realizing, feeling that Randall betrayed him, or Randall was an asshole to him, in his mind, he deserved that. So Arthur takes his knife or scissors, if you will. He's like, "Thank you, Randall. Thank you so much," and stabs him in the throat, and stabs him in the eye, and then beats him, and then Gary's like, no, Arthur, no, no. Freaked out. He's like, what the fuck, Arthur? He's like, Arthur just after killing somebody, just after murdering, just mentions, oh hey, did you know I'm going to be on the Murray Franklin show? Just like nothing happened, but he's tired out because Rando's a pretty big guy, so probably killing him and punching his head to the wall a couple times tired him out. He's like, you can go, Gary. I'm not going to hurt you. And then Gary walks by and Joker, or not Joker yet, but Arthur's like, ah! He's like, ah! He's like, Arthur, can you get there? Because he can't reach the door handle. He's like, yeah. He's like, hold on, Gary. He's like, kiss him in the head. He's like, you're over there. And nice, Gary. Get out of here. You could think people could probably question why Gary didn't call the cops, but I guess he was so scared to death that Arthur would come and kill him. Again, he just murdered Gary right in front of him. Even though he said he wouldn't harm him, Gary probably was just too scared. And he did say he was doing the Murray Franklin show, but maybe Gary didn't believe him because at the time you got to realize maybe he didn't call the cops. Maybe he was just freaked out. He just witnessed a murder at hand from somebody who was a good friend of his that turned into a psychopathic murderer. So maybe he wasn't thinking clearly. Maybe he was just thinking, I'm running the heck out of here as fast as I can. Scared me to my life. Scared the life out of me. But then after that, you know, after killing Randall, he puts on his Joker makeup for the first time, which is cool. Got a good song going on. Him getting into the elevator, smiling, and we see him actually fully become Joker. That's when you see the whole thing with the dancing on the, which I thought Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. Maybe it probably seemed like it took a lot of work to do this, and he did great. Phoenix did a great job doing that dance scene. And the two detectives that questioned him before he killed his mom, when she killed the hospital, they come to him. Say Arthur, and Arthur, runs. They're all upstairs where Arthur runs away. They chase him. Arthur gets on the train. They're trying to follow him, but he steals one guy's mask. This guy pushes Arthur. Then this other guy pushes that guy, and Arthur's able to get away, put the mask on, and the cops are leaving. Get away! We're looking for Arthur, and then they shoot one of the people on the train, one of the crazy people on the train, the clowns that support Arthur, and they attack the cops. I'm assuming they probably killed them. Well, Arthur just goes away, and then he goes to the show. And he's like Murray. He's like Mr. Franklin. Gene, please don't matter. It's okay. Not a big deal. And he's like, nice to meet you, Arthur. He's like, but you can't cuss. No, no, we have a clean show, okay? He's like, right. Oh, and Murray, when you go out, can you call me Joker? Yeah, you can call me Joker. And after that, goes on the Murray show, gets ready and smoking a cigarette for getting on the show. He says, and that's you guys, Joker. Just gets him at his comedy routine. He's like, he kisses this lady. He's like, nice to see you, Murray. And he's like, Foxy tries to tell a joke. He's like, knock, knock, gotta look that up. Knock, knock. It's the police. Your son is found dead. He's like, we don't do jokes like that, Arthur. That's inappropriate. I was like, oh, really? And then Arthur goes on and even confesses to killing the three Wayne Enterprises, saying that they deserved it. It's like, my life is now complete. Yeah. And then goes on a rant about, he's like, oh, come on, if it was me, you would have left me dead side of the road. You know, but they abandoned him. He rants about how the society is. He's like, look what you caused, buddy. People are getting murdered, people are getting killed because of what you caused. Like, I know. He's laughing about it. He's like, you think it's funny? Yeah, I do. Yeah. And he's like, you want to hear another joke? He's like, no, Franklin. He's like, no, Franklin. Murray tells Gene. He's like, call the police. Gene's like, what do you get with it from a psychopath, a mentally ill man who gets abandoned by society that abandons him? And in the joke, you get what you fucking deserve. And then, pow, shoots Murray in the head, shoots him dead. Goes to start talking to the TV. Just, I have to say this and bleep. They cut out. Arthur gets arrested. Yeah. One rider though, this ride happens. All the other jails. Look what you did, freak! You're smiling about it. They freak this ambulance that is the riders that like him, like Joker, Joker, and Arthur feels appreciated for the first time. Like he's brought joy to the world in his crazy mind, and he's got his face bleeding, which on smile. That these people look up to him, look up to Joker. Yeah. And then in Arkham, you have Arthur at Arkham just laughing. What's so funny? He's like, just tell him a joke. That's life. That's life. Then you see him walking away just laughing and blood on his feet. It could be assumed that maybe he stabbed or killed the lady. It leaves a trail of blood behind as he's running behind, and then the movie ends there with the end credits. And that's Joker. Let me read some quotes from this movie, but that was the end of the film. Yeah. With him running for the orderlies and being in the hospital. The worst part of having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't. You don't listen to you. I don't think you really ever hear me. You just ask the same questions every week. How's your job? And how you have are you having any negative thoughts? All I have are negative thoughts. I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a fucking comedy. Yeah, they do drop f bombs in this movie. For my whole life, I didn't know even really existed, but I do, and people are starting to notice. Mary, one small thing, yeah. When you bring me out, can you just introduce me as Joker? It's just me, or is it just getting crazier out there? The whole city's on fire because of what you did. I know, isn't it beautiful? I'm waiting for the punchline. There is no punchline. What's so funny? I'm just thinking of a joke. You tell me it? Do you want to tell me it? You wouldn't get it. How about another joke, Murray? No, I think we've had enough of your jokes. What do you get? I don't think so. When you cross, I think we're done here now. Thank you. I'm really ill loner. Sorry that bans him. Treats him like a trash. Call the police, you can call the police. I'll tell you what you fucking deserve. I killed those guys because they were awful. Everybody's just awful nowadays. Like even Sister Murray's like, Murray, you're awful. Awful? You don't even know me. This is play my clip. Yeah. Well, you brought me just on the show to make fun of me, to ruin my career. I just hope my death makes more sense than my life. I haven't been happy 1 minute of my entire fucking life. Yeah, where's everybody so upset about these guys? If it was me down the sidewalk, you'd walk right over me. I pass you every day and you notice me. But these guys, well, because Thomas Wayne will cry about them on TV. I've been the man of those apps for as long as I can remember. I took care of my mom. Oh, that's everybody. She must love you very much. She does. She always tell me to smile and put a happy face. She says I was put here to spread joy and laughter to the world. Have you seen what it's like out there, Mary? Do you ever really leave the studio? Everybody just yells and screams at each other. Nobody's sober anymore. Nobody thinks that what it's like to be the other guy. You think, man, like Thomas Wayne, never think what it's like to be someone like me, to be somebody but something else for themselves. They don't. They think we're just sit there and take it like good little boys. Then we don't go, won't werewolf and go wild. I know it's strange. I know it's strange, but I make you uncomfortable. I don't know why everyone's so rude. I don't know why you are. I don't want anything from you. Maybe a little bit of warmth, maybe a hug, Dad, or just a little bit of fucking decency. All right. I'll give my final opinion on this movie. Sorry. So Joker 2019. I love this movie. This is a great film. Yeah. Would I say it's a complete masterpiece? No, I do have my issues with it. Before I get to that, though, I do think Todd Phillips did a great job directing. Uh, I thought the directing, the writing, I thought was good for the film. Uh, cinematography is very beautiful in this movie. It looks like a realistic film. I love the film. The film doesn't look that much of CGI. It looks very practical. Uh, the editing was good as well. The music score was very good as well. I love the songs put in here, like "Smile" or the Frank Sinatra songs that they add in here. That's life. Well, instrumental in a way, or "Sending the Clowns." Yeah, it's "Smile" by Jimmy Durant. Those songs fit perfectly well with this movie. Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. I like the story that deals with mental illness. That yeah, a man that's been brought down by society and people the way they treat him. And Arthur, is messed up in the head. He's been abusive as a child, so of course he's gonna grow up. And then, a mother who, an adoptive mother who let him get beaten as a kid. Of course, he's gonna probably mess up, being screwed up, having issues. But the film is 2 minutes long. It goes by at a good pace, I thought. It does take time for him to become Joker, but trust me, it's worth it. Seeing this scene is worth it. This is my favorite scene in the movie, and the Joker makeup's real good. It's completely different. It's like a realistic version of Joker, but it's still a comic character. It's just a movie. Don't let it get in your head. It's just a film. It's like reminds me of American Psycho a little bit with Joker. It's just fantasy. You know, yeah. But the movie deserved to make millions at the box office. And you know what? The Sony movies never made anyway. Morbius went to theaters twice. It felt. Craven the Hunter, Madam Web. Those films flopped horribly last year. Yeah, because they were awful movies. Because nobody asked for them, nobody wanted them. And the thing is, you know, well, Madam Web maybe didn't need to make rated R because I don't think she's a real villainess. But with Morpheus and Craven the Hunter, they are villains, and well, more Craven the Hunter. But you make those films rated R. If you were, yeah, even Deadpool 1 and 2, those were hits. Those made money. You know, Punisher 2004, I think that made some money at least. But some comic book movies you can ground it to realism. But I do like the movie basically for the story. I think it has a good story. I don't take it too seriously though. It's just a movie. Don't those stuff I was reading earlier about people doing mass shootings. It's not because of this movie. No, it's because people who can't tell the difference between reality and what's fantasy is messed up in the head. Yeah, I remember The Dark Knight Rises when that shooting happened. It wasn't because of the film Dark Knight now or Heath Ledger. It's because that guy was crazy in the head. Because people are crazy. In the real world, yeah, there's people that are crazy in the head. You know, can't blame a movie for the actions or violence or mass shootings. Can't blame it on film. Films are just fantasy. They're not real. You know. But this film tells a good story about mental illness and themes of that. About a man just going downhill and becoming insane and becoming a new person, Joker. The makeup looks great too. I thought Robert De Niro, great actor, one of the best, actors out there. Sophia Pitts did good. Frances Conroy, she does good, and Rick Collins, Thomas Wayne did a good job. Any problems? Oh, I do have a problem with the ending where we see Thomas and Martha Wayne get shot. I'm like, we've seen this in the comics and Batman '89, Batman Begins, probably Batman the Animated Series 2, and Batman the Organ Games as well. We know how Batman became Batman. We didn't need that. You didn't need Thomas and Martha Wayne and Bruce Wayne in this movie. I mean, it's okay. I'm not saying Brick Cullen. Brick Cullen did a great job, but I don't think you needed those characters in the movie. But I guess since they added them to do it, I can understand why. Because again, they're trying to connect it with the Batman universe, so they have to have young Bruce Wayne here, which you didn't need that. But again, they're trying to connect, I guess, connection that knowing that this is a Batman character and Joker is, so it makes sense why they brought it. I'm saying, I'm sorry, that's my biggest problem with the movie though is the ending with seeing the climax when the riots happen and Arthur gets arrested. I'm just saying them getting shot. We've seen it before in Gotham as well, in Batman Begins, Batman '89. And what I didn't like about it, it was the Joker that caused it. It was Arthur that caused it. No, it wasn't. Batman '89, it was okay. But in here, you just didn't need that. You didn't need the parents getting shot. You know. Oh, you know what? What? Forget what I said. I actually do think the Waynes didn't need to be in this movie. But I get it. They want to connect to the Batman films. That's probably my only issue with it. Yeah. Yeah. Arthur and his illusions are crazy, but Joaquin Phoenix does a great job. See, Arthur is a nice guy, but he just got a lot of mental problems and, losing his job and, you know, and the way people were treating him or mean to him, you kind of understand why he goes there. It's not a good reason, but yeah, you can understand. But still, it's just a movie. It's a really well done movie. I like how it's shot. The film is well made, in my opinion. It's one of the best comic book films out there. Now, if you want to throw realism into it, it does feel realistic, but it's still a movie. It's just fantasy. Joker is not a real person. Arthur Fleck is not a real person. So just explain that. It's just a movie. Uh, but anyway, guys, my rating for Joker 2019 starring Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro, and it's also a DC film. So, and my rating for this film is You know what, Joker? I'm gonna give this film 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. And it didn't need a sequel. That's another problem I have with this movie. It didn't need a sequel because then we can tarnish this movie as well. Yeah, but that sequel sucked. But this movie was great. I'd highly recommend it. It does have that problem, like I said, with the ending with the Waynes. I'm not saying it's a complete masterpiece. It does have those issues a bit I have with it. But it's still a great movie, though. Great movie. I highly recommend it. A thumbs up for Joker. And again, you should never have a sequel. Yeah, this film did not need a sequel. You should have just left it at that. I would be perfectly fine. When they announced the sequel, I was not really for it. I was like, I didn't even bother watching the trailer for it because I had no interest in it. And I thought it was stuff. But we'll get to the sequel. But again, my rating for Joker 2019 is 5 out of 5 stars. Now, guys, I do want to review some short films like the Jonah Hex DC Showcase for Green Arrow and Jonah Hex, and also Constantine City of Demons, just to name those three. And also my last 2019 review, it could be today, tomorrow, next week, I don't know, or today. That will be Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Yeah, will be my last 2019 review, which is it is the 38th film in the DC animated universe original DC Universe animated original movies. This came the day out. The Joker came out October 4th, but this film was released direct to video on October 5th. So Wonder Woman Bloodlines. This will be my last 2010 ever superhero reviews. Yes, the very last one. Yeah, but stay tuned for some more videos, folks. Uh, yeah, hopefully I'll be off the weekends because I'm part time. But Wonder Woman Bloodlines. This will be the last 2019 review. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And again, my rating for Joker 2019 is 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. Tell me guys in the comments down below. What do you think of Joker 2019? Who was your favorite actor to play Joker? Mine is probably, well, if we're talking about live action, I'm sorry, I gotta go with Jack Nicholson. I know people say Heath Ledger, but for me, it's Jack Nicholson. Always fantastic in that role, in my opinion. But Joaquin Phoenix is great too. How would you rate the actors who have played the Joker, including Mark Hamill? How would you rate the actors of the Joker? And Caesar Romero from the '60s show, if you've seen the '60s show, and Jack Nicholson, like I said, Mark Hamill, Heath Ledger, and Jared Leto. I would say the worst is Jared Leto, but that's just my opinion. And who was the worst Joker to you, the actor to play him? How would you rank these actors? And have you seen the sequel? If you so, what did you think of that sequel in your opinion? That came out last year, Joker with the Locks with Lady Gaga. Yeah. Anyway, Joker 2019. That's my rating for the film. 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. Tell me in the comments down below what you think of the film, guys. In your opinion, and stay tuned for the reviews of DC Showcase films, Green Arrow, Jonah Hex. Yeah, I was thinking about doing Green Arrow before I talk about the TV show era, but maybe I'll just go ahead and do it now. Since and Jonah Hex, since they're short movies, and Constant City Demons as well, just might as well. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think of Joker in the comments down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Always remember to have a smile on your face. There we go. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.